Hi everyone, it's Karen here. Welcome to the next day in our 24 days of tags. And today I'm going to share with you how I created this tag using our fabulous little brushos. These are tiny pots of highly pigmented watercolor powder. And when mixed with water, you can do amazing things with them. So they come in little pots like this. I just punch a hole in the top and stick one of these little tacks that you can buy from the stationery store in the top. Because you only need a tiny bit of each of the crystals inside. The colours that I'm going to be using today are sea green and lemon. But absolutely have a little play, see what variations you can come up with. So you can see we've got the lemon in the centre and the sea green around the edge. Now often when you use this technique, you'll come up with 2 for 1. So out of the same pool, if you like, I got this one and this one. So you get something a little darker and then a little lighter. So I'm going to keep that for next time. So same size tag as always, and then what I've used is the Lavinia Stamps Stargazing set with mini hearts and one of the sentiments from the Heartfelt Sentiments set, which says with love. So we'll get started. So first of all, I'm going to pick a stencil. Now, when you're choosing a stencil for this technique, you don't want something too open. You want something with a bit of gap, but not too wide. Then I'm going to take my little brushos and I'm just going to tap them all over the stencil. Let me move this for you. And then I'm going to take my lemon and I'm going to splatter that in and around my stencil too. Then comes the water and I'm just going to spritz it. And then I'm going to bring in my 2 tags. Picking up my stencil, and I am going to place it with all of that ink. I'm going to place that face down onto my stencil. No, face down onto my card. And I'm just going to dab it with a piece of kitchen towel or my tea towel. So what you're doing is you're trapping the ink between the stencil and the card, and you come up with something quite lovely. And then we're just going to do it again. Now, as I said, this one's a little lighter, but still something quite pretty. So you can see a lot lighter. And then when we go around the edge with a frame, that's what will bring it all together. I'm going to put that to one side to dry and then look at the first print that we did. I absolutely love this technique. It's so much fun. Just remembering that when you do yours, what you want is a slightly lighter colour in the centre. Otherwise it's going to overpower, because it is a small tag. So it will overpower the centre if you do. Do you know what? You could just leave it like that, because isn't that fun? However, we are going to do some stamping on it. And I'm just going to clean up my stencil first. I don't like putting my stencils away dirty, because you never know, I just might pick it up and do something else, and then it's a mess. So look at that. I'm really happy with that. Now I am going to need to give it a little blast with a heat gun before I do my stamping. Now before I do my stamping, which I did here, I am going to create that frame around the edge. So that's what I did in that one. You see, as it's dried, that's come up a little darker. That will be really quite fun. So I am going to take peacock feathers. So I try to use a colour that's very similar to some of the colours that I've got in my tag. I am going to use my smoothie and I'm just going to give it a very generous frame. Now because this is quite a solid image, I am going to use my stamping platform for it, so that I do get it nice and crisp. And I'm going to pop these just at the bottom there. That's it. And I am going to use Nocturne. And now I'm going to take my With Love sentiment. I'm just going to pop that over my tag. Now, I'll show you a little tip in a second here, which you might find valuable. So sometimes when I'm stamping and I can't quite decide where something goes, I will take a piece of acetate, put it over my work, and then I've got my mini heart stamp here, and then I'm just going to lay these and think, oh, I'm not quite sure whether that should go. Should I put it there, 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 there? So you can see how you use the acetate as a bit of a mask here to be able to show you where it goes. And then, of course, you just wipe it off with a bit of tea towel or something. And there you have it. So I often use that when I can't quite decide where I want to put something. And as I say, you can clean it off really easily. So it's quite easy and quite fun. So last but not least, I'm going to take my little stickles. This one's Icicle. I love this one. It's one of my favourites, if not the absolute favourite in the stickles range. Now you can see I just put a tiny bit on my mat there. That's because this is nearing the end of the bottle, and I just wanted to see how much pressure I needed to apply to put some out. So I'm just going over with the wings. And then I'm just going to dab this throughout the card, the tag, just tiny little dots here and there. So there we have our tag, and then I just added some ribbons and a bit of cord for some interest there. So this one I went in a bit dark around the edge. This one's a bit lighter. I love them both. I would love to see what you make. Have fun with your brushos. Now, if you don't have brushos, there's pixie powders. There's a number of other different products that will give you a similar effect. Have fun. I'll be back again tomorrow. Bye for now.